You looking at a tiller, the psychopath, the killer, the caterpillar. Don't tell me when I'm supposed to rap until, especially when your favorite rapper ain't even half as ill as ever. Still the tracks a banana peel, attack of the silverback gorilla. You're having a little trouble fathoming this is actually happening, like Anderson Silverback when he snapped the shit in half and then had this shit hanging by a flap of skin after he tried to plant the shit back on the mat again. Had to pin 'em batty like eyelids when they're blinking a lot. You copy me, but you're not. You can't be butterflies. My offsprings are this moss. I see that thing, I'ma squash it and rip the wings of it off. So ring the alarm, pull the extinguishers off the wall, set the sprinklers off. Like Jada Pinkett and Queen Latifah till the shingles come off the roof. Wheels shout at the ceiling, slaughterhouse in the building, middle fingers aloft. Say what.
Hey, it's Slay, and this is episode 461 of the Orange Pill Investor. And I hope y'all got a chance to see the show last night, but it was an absolutely brutal from my end. We had a little bit of technical difficulties right before we were supposed to go live. I like unplugged and replugged in my mic a couple of times. I was getting like echo, or they were getting echo. I couldn't hear shit. And so I ended up having to go without the mic. People are messaging me like, man, you sound like you're in a soup can, all that good stuff. But so I ended up using the earbuds, the AirPods for my mic and for the and for sound. And I guess the processing power must have gotten diverted because the sound quality for me went down tremendously. I mean, I was like just listening with every ounce of my power and energy, and I could barely hear, like Adrian and Dan going back and forth, and Tim. And so it was just absolutely brutal, me trying to actually listen to the conversation, pay attention to the chats. I actually forgot to have the chats run on the side, but maybe it was for the best because the some of the chats were absolutely just wild. And big props to some of the for some of the loyal fans because they were really shouting them down in the comments. I ended up getting rid of one guy, but yeah, it was an absolute train wreck from a technical perspective on my side. And it was kind of funny because I was so stressed out trying to listen and then monitor the chats and keep the conversation flowing and pay attention to the agenda and all that shit. And so when the top of the hour came, and I knew Jeff was maybe going to jump in halfway if he got the chance, but since he didn't, I was like, all right, screw it. We covered the agenda. Let's just call it a day, and I can go just lick my wounds or whatever and go troubleshoot whatever the fuck is going wrong with this computer. And then and then of course Jeff jumped in, but then it kind of saved the tone of the whole episode, I guess, and he kind of bulled us up a little bit, and it just kind of made me laugh because I think we're all kind of suffering through these lulls and these dips in Bitcoin, and then of course strategy as well, right? And I think some people are maybe relying on True North or other people that they follow to kind of like pump their spirits up. And so if we don't come through like cheerleaders, people get worried, or people are like, oh shit, I was supposed to get my bull fuel. And if we're not bulling it up 24/7, then I don't know, people get down in the dumps. But the title is actually about some of them are got to be actual people, but some of them, might be bots spun up. And I just thought it was kind of funny that, Sailor's always talking about Bitcoin's defended by cyber hornets, right? A swarm of cyber hornets. But man, when I was looking at that chat, it looked like a swarm of fucking gnats. We're just like trash talking strategy, trash talking us. Um, you know, Page shills. Some people were like, none of these guys even have any long position, or don't even have 10% of their portfolios in strategy and this and that and the other thing. And it's probably best that I forgot to. We usually run the chats along the side and kind of keep one eye on them. There's generally a lot of funny stuff going on in the chats, but I actually forgot to click this little button right here that would display all the comments on the stream. So I think I got a little bit distracted with my technical difficulties. But man, if you saw half of the comments, well, actually, people who were on X, I guess, got to see all the X comments, and people who were on YouTube got to see all the YouTube comments. But um, yeah, it was kind of wild. Um, but yeah, I'll hopefully, actually, you guys can let me know if how I sound right now. Um, but so I went ahead and I disabled all of the noise cancellation, all of the noise suppression. I toggled it all off within the Restream app. I'm using all um, whatever the sound manipulation, customization shit. I'm using all through the Beacon app now. So that's what tech support recommended that I do. So I'm going to give that a shot. But I generally don't have problems just streaming by myself. And I'm wondering is once we got 3 or 4 people logged into that restream, since I was hosting, I wonder if like the latency starts to amplify on my account since I'm connected to everyone. Um, and I bought a new laptop, but I still haven't gotten everything. It's a pain in the ass, just downloading all the new programs or all your old programs and stuff. So I've got a brand new laptop sitting on top of my old laptop that I need to get. So I don't know if I need to pay Verizon for some extra bandwidth or maybe the new computer will fix it. Um, I see Ben in the chat. I actually bought the same camera. I just copied off of his homework and I bought the same camera that he has. So my video should be a lot better, but every once in a while, I think the camera microphone steals the mic away from my beacon mic, my actual you know pod microphone. But I don't think that was the case last night because I unplugged and plugged it back in a couple of times. So right now I'm trying all of the audio settings through the Beacon software, and I'm just sending straight stereo output through the Restream service. So I appreciate that, Buffalo. Hopefully that will continue to be the case when I host when I host these damn episodes because it was a freaking nightmare. But yeah, you're right, Ben. You rarely get criticized by someone doing more than you. That's funny and quite appropriate. Um, anyway, I don't want to like belabor the point, but yeah, appreciate everybody who did tune in and who kind of had our backs and stuff. And it's funny because there's probably I don't know 2 to 5 people shouting every one of those people down, and they're like, "Dude, if you don't want to be here, like, why are you on the stream? Just fucking go away." So yeah, I don't know how much of those people are actual people with just like to troll, or if it really is bots being spun up and just sent out to to annoy. But what's up, Crash? What's up, Buffalo? Yeah, what's up, Tony? So yeah, I couldn't even like we had all time highs, and then I blinked and missed it. Like didn't even get a chance to enjoy it. Yeah, Jeff probably saw you know the the bearishness and was like, I gotta jump in there and fucking flip this upside down. What's up, Forrester? Yeah, we got a bull post for the Nats. Buffalo said he had to turn YouTube chat off. Oh man. Dan and Adrian had some cross cancellation stuff going on last night. Oh, with the audio. Truth played in the song "What Hurts the Most." Yeah, I had an intro song and everything. I was gonna play Firestarter. I figured that would play well with the artwork that Justin put together, and when I started having the audio problems, I was just like, all right, fuck it, we're going live, and we're like, all right, let's just go. Let's see. Max Kaiser mentioned El Salvador Node program. Any idea what Node software they'll be running? I had not heard of that. No, that's a good call out. I need to check that out. What's the FUD deleted extra fast? Mostly it was just like just swarms of trollish comments in the stream last night, just like, you know, paid shills of strategy, and nobody knows what they're talking about, and uh, whatever. It was just kind of relentless. Yeah, yeah. I was kind of mad about it. Um, I had it all ready to go, and then just kind of abandoned ship at the last moment. All right, so let's just jump into it. I'll probably be rolling some positions because they're going to be ready. With the price crashing, there might not be as much extrinsic value in some of these positions. Um, this one's not quite ready to roll. This one, these three probably are. So let's hit those. I can roll them out 2 weeks, 43 days to expiration. I'm going to have to roll the strikes. I don't want to roll them too much. So expected move is going to be now closer to 425. So, okay, figured that would fill, but let's just drop it down a couple bucks. And normally, what I would do with all of the cash that I just collected from that credit was, I'll either have to withdraw that money to pay bills, or I would buy more shares, buy more long calls. This dip, would be the perfect opportunity to buy some calls at a discount. But I have been actually using some margin, which I was trying to get away from, but just kind of couldn't help myself. So, what was the total credit? I already forgot. Where's the three? Was it three positions? Yeah, these guys. So I think I paid 450, rolled them out. So probably got paid about 1,500 bucks for each of these. So maybe I won't spend the whole 1,500. Maybe I'll chip away at the margin use a little bit, and I'll just pick up maybe one or two uh, long calls at a discount. Again, so I don't. This one's not exactly like really. I really need to roll this now. Generally, I would probably wait until my trade price was cut in half. But just for convenience, it might be worth rolling this out so that I don't have two different expiration dates to keep track of. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So I think I'm just going to roll this one as well. And I don't have to roll this one very far, actually. So we'll take a little small credit there. That should be about $2,000 worth of credit. Try not to sell myself short here, so I'm just knocking this down a couple of ticks every time. Okay, there we go. I got a fill. Oops. All right, let me ungroup these and then group them. Whoops. And group them back up. These are my poor man's covered call section. And same deal here. So I've got all 1,400 of my shares covered. I did roll one out, what, 3 days ago, and this is already ready to roll. So it looks like I'm just gonna close these all in one shot. Actually, interesting. I might have to roll this one down. Yeah, I'm just gonna close all of these in one shot, and then I'll put all 14 of them back on. No compatible order found. What does it mean? I wonder if I'm trying to close too many positions at once. Okay, I didn't see. What did it say was rejected? Custom. Okay, I don't know. Might be too many positions. Let's just see what happens here. Let's roll again to the expected move. That's going to overlap my other positions. Let's go here. Okay, at least let it go through. Okay. Maybe I just have to do these one at a time. Should I do both of these? Yeah, might have been just too many positions selected at once. Whatevs. All right, so I rolled 10, but I'm going to put 4 back on. Same expiration date, and I'm going to go same strike just for convenience. All right, probably got another 3 or 4 grand for that. So chipped away at the margin, chipped away about 9 grand worth of margin. So that's kind of cool. But I will turn around and spend some of that money because I just can't help myself but buy the dip. And what long calls do I still have here? I've got some of the 530s. I got the DGen YOLO 1080s, and I got these January 890s. You know what I could actually dollar cost average into a couple of these and and bring my trade price down a little bit. But then again, it might be interesting to just see if I leave these 890s alone and just leave the original trade price up here as a record and a warning to what a horrible entry price this was in. Let's see, this has been open for 266 days. So this was like right after the pump. As soon as the 890s were available, I probably rolled up into these. So maybe my penance is just staring at this until it's time to roll and see how bad this trade turns out. So I won't dollar cost average into these, but maybe I'll pick up 5 Decembers. Actually, maybe I'll just move on to November or to January. January is 155 days away. Actually, maybe it's time for February. Maybe 2. Since I don't hold these under 90 days to expiration, February's kind of perfect because I would be ready to dump these in like November. And hopefully we'll get some kind of face melting Bitcoin rally by then. All right, so I chipped away my margin usage quite a bit. Might not do me much good because I'll probably have to take out another another withdrawal to pay some bills. Checking account's getting a little thin. The bills don't stop. So what are you gonna do? All right, that looks like everything that needs to be done in this account. Let's move on to the IRA. What's up, William? Do you have any thoughts on what Dan was saying with with the possibility that STRF becomes the new common and participates in the upside due to Bitcoin per share metric, even though it's structured as a bond? I actually don't. Like he clearly doesn't think about anything else all day and all night, even while his eyes are closed and he's asleep. And he's either onto something or just having hallucinations or something from being so obsessed with strategy in the preferreds. So um, my my initial, I guess, reaction to it is like it doesn't seem possible that that it would happen that way. But I mean, he's really pushing the envelope on hypothetical scenarios. Well, what if this happens and what if that happens? And those are all, important thought exercises. But, and to a certain extent, anything that's possible, given enough time in the future, like it's inevitable to potentially happen at some point. But I would probably be dead by then. So I'm not too stressed about it. That was a really long-winded way of me saying I really don't know. I haven't I haven't thought about it to the extent that he has. So um, when Jeff came on, he kind of was ready to deflect a lot of those arguments uh, back, in a way that I really wouldn't be able to. So um, yeah, I wish I had some insights on it, but I really don't. CT said, I closed my shorts at a small loss thinking we were going up. So apologies for this dip. It's my fault. Yeah. Yeah. I thought I was doing a reverse jinx by putting on all those covered calls, right? I had basically all 1,400 of my shares covered. And I thought, oh, for sure, strategy will go to 550 now. You know what I mean? That's just like the perfect opportunity. But, I mean, these things could have perfectly rational explanations like the cyclical nature of the market. It's still summertime. All the traders are still on vacation. They're still at the beach. Kids are going back to school this month. Um, maybe we don't really get the pump until September, October, just like last year. Or maybe there is no logical solution since the market's completely friggin' irrational half the time anyway. Um, and maybe the market's just going to do whatever the hell it wants to do for whatever the hell reason it wants to do it. All right, so Tesla, this is actually, oh, sorry, this is strategy again. Yeah, so these are probably ready to roll as well. I've got 200 shares. I've got poor man's covered calls, 6 total covered calls. And so I might as well just roll these out. Today's going to be roll day, apparently. And it's only for a small credit, though. Interesting. Almost makes me wonder if it's worth my time, but what the hell. The only way I actually get dry powder in my account, since I don't have any income other than exactly what I'm doing, So that's actually going to give me a little bit of spending cash, but let's do Tesla as well, potentially. Actually, Tesla's been doing some good things, so there's still plenty of extrinsic value to collect here. Not really ready for me to roll. Same deal here. So no trades on the Tesla position, but I do need to do something with the dry powder. So 2,800 bucks. That means I need to buy the dip here somewhere. And it looks like I've got some January positions. I've got 18 of the January 1080s. So $400 a pop. I can get 7 of them. All right. No. 6. Being a little too greedy on that one. There we go. It was close. It was close. All right. So with all of those, with all that rigmarole, I'm clinging on barely by a thread to a slightly positive net theta. So I'm earning like $12 a day in this account. So this account is extremely long, probably because of all of these damn 1080s I got here. So if the market gods are listening, if you need me to sacrifice a goat or something, just let me, send me a sign, and we'll get Bitcoin and strategy pumping again in the right direction. All right, this is kind of like my allowance, my spending account here, and this one is not even close to an option seller's account here because I have so many long positions. But I'm basically trying to hit some home runs here, so we'll see. This is ready to roll. So let's go out to the expected move. That gives me a little bit of dry powder, so almost 1,300 bucks. And that means I can get 4 of these. I might as well get 3 and have an even 20. What was the date on that? Must be December, right? All right, that still leaves me with $400. 400 whole smackaroonies. What did I say the Januaries was running? It's too much. Too much. All right, we'll hold on to $400 in cash. I hate having even like 1 red cent of fiat fiat melting ice cube. All right, this was the challenge account. I guess it will probably always be referred to as the challenge account unless I move some things around. And let's roll. I wish when I'm rolling a position, it would let me keep the group. I think that only makes sense. the Tasty Trade devs are listening, can I get that feature? All right, rolled the poor man's covered calls. And I was being what I thought was kind of aggressive. So I rolled a couple of covered calls down to the 400 strike, and I kept two uncovered just in case the price went up. So I guess maybe the dip is my fault as well. So you're not alone there, CT. So there's not a whole lot of, whoops, go this direction. There's not a whole lot of extrinsic value left in these bad boys, so I'm just going to close them. Now, do I roll? So it's already Thursday, and there's not a lot of time between today and tomorrow, but let's just see. If I did roll these down to the expected move, I could get a couple $100 here. Is that worth doing? Maybe I'll continue the trend. So I rolled 4 down to 2 contracts. Maybe I'll roll the 2 contracts down to 1 contract. And I'll push my luck selling 1, and I'll leave the other 3 uncovered. If I wanted to reverse jinx the dip, I would roll all 3 of these down, I guess. So hopefully the markets will be tempted to wreck me on this this covered call by tomorrow, and I can put the other 3 back on at a higher price. So, oh, that's right. I have about 3 grand worth of cash here, so I don't need to spend this because I do need to make a withdrawal. So I'll just leave that 3 grand there to pad my checking account a little bit. Kinda can't help it though. If I get 4 more December, that brings me to an even 40. But nah, I'm gonna hold pat. Well, I do have this 1 share. Let me sell 1 share. One silly share, and then that gives me a little bit more cash as well. So let me just dollar cost average into these. I can't help but want to hit that even number. Completely unscientific trading method here. A little OCD more than anything. So now I got an even 40 of the 1080s. And I've still got almost 3 grand that I can withdraw and spend. My wife probably needs more books. Probably wants to take a Barnes & Noble trip. So we'll see. CT says September is usually an atrocious month from a seasonality perspective. Now you tell me. Colin says, do you think Sailor is losing the vote of confidence of retail? Also, that new CJ video makes it sound like they are lost with the strategy. CJ video, who is that? Who's CJ? I don't know if he's lost confidence. I mean, certainly with some people. Some people are definitely off the bandwagon, chasing you know, chasing gains elsewhere. But I still maintain that I suspect there's a little bit of a hangover, um, rolling the strategy from the convertible bonds to the preferreds, and um, you know, they're desperate to get away from the less accretive convertible bond deals into the more accretive preferred Bitcoin accumulation. But it's just that the preferreds are not mature enough yet, right? The volume just isn't there to fully replace all of the Bitcoin that they would be able to buy if they were smashing convertible bond deals. But it's probably best that they do it now because they're kind of desperate for the bond deals that they have now to roll off, because they will be able to accumulate more leverage because the preferred leverage is much safer than the convertible bond leverage. And the convertible bond arb traders are not really on our side, right? So if people are pissed at the common ATM for you know, not letting the price run, the bond traders are doing the exact same thing, right? They've already hedged out their profits. And so, do you want strategy and the bond traders both selling all the tops and hammering those moves? Eventually, once all the bond deals roll off, there won't be a lot of competition, right? It won't be the bond arb out there selling their positions every time strategy's price runs up. It'll just be strategy. So more more of that money, I think, will be kept in house. So does it suck that the preferreds are not like to the level that they can absolutely just replace all of the leverage that the convertible bonds were providing? Yes, but it's just kind of a lull in the action, I think. If you know if this time next year, if we look back at September, October, November, December, January, maybe even February, and there's like a full year of no no impressive price action, then you can say, okay, that was a bummer. But just going back year to date, like, it's not cherry picking exactly, but it is starting to track the price in the middle of a correction right after a blow off top. So you kind of have to look at whether you're zoomed in or zoomed out in context of what the market was doing at that particular time. So people that want to be pissed off about strategy's price action year to date and comparing that to like an IBIT, it's not that they're wrong. I just don't think it's the proper context. So I bet up 22%, strategies up the exact same amount. So, of course, strategy holders, if they bought on January 1st, are going to feel like, oh man, I didn't get the 2x gains I should have gotten, right? But if you entered into this position on January 2nd, not taking into account that we're off of a fresh blow off top to 500 a share, and that there's almost an inevitable correction down 50% from there, you know, then that's the fault of the person entering that position not having a realistic expectation for what the markets are capable of doing. Um, Strategy is a leveraged Bitcoin play, but they're not they're not a levered ETF. So this isn't being like mark to market like daily, right? They're not repositioning everything day to day like a MSTX or an MSTU. So there's going to be periods like, right here, nobody was complaining because strategy was up massively, but you got to expect for a stock to hit resistance and then find support and then the fair values in the middle somewhere. So I don't know if the 2x leverage strategy play picks back up this year or next cycle. I I hope it's this cycle, but no guarantees. It might take, who knows how long it'll take for this to ramp up. Um, my suspicion is that they'll roll out at least two more to fill up. Pull it up. Here we go. To fill up this block right here. There's at least room for two more preferreds, maybe three. There's room for one more here, potentially. You could, I don't know, could you squeeze one more over here to the right and go even longer duration? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would say, yeah, at least two. If you're really trying to squeeze more in, you might be able to do six more preferreds. And if they upsize every single one of them to 2 billion, that's a hell of a lot of leverage. And I'm actually not even so, I've been begging for the leverage, begging for the leverage, begging for the leverage just in time for the next Bitcoin pump because I want to see another blow off top to $1,000 a share. But I kind of have to be careful what I ask for, because if we enter a bear market for Bitcoin and Bitcoin's going to crash 50 to 75%, do I really want strategy to be levered to bejesus and have a 2x move to the downside? I mean, 2x a 50% move would be 100%. So I don't think it's going to be quite that crazy. But, you know, if Bitcoin's down 50% and strategy's down 75%, that's not going to make me happy. Just so that I can say, oh, yay, they're levered up. Like that leverage is only a good thing when numbers going up. Number go down, we want them to be able to delever that position. And sorry to say, but the only delevering mechanism they really have is the common ATM. So they're going to have to hammer the common ATM the next time these things rally in order to make sure that they're not over leveraged going into a bear market. So make your peace. Make your peace with the common ATM, I suppose. And they have to hit the common ATM under basically any conditions in order to pay the dividends. So, all right. So I've got this covered call. Sold it for 11. It's only worth 2, but so I might as well just roll this now. What's my average cost basis for this stock? Officially, it's $12. So I am taking a chance. I don't really know how much premiums I've collected. Oops. So I don't know what my true cost basis is. All right, let's do the one-step roll. Just roll it out to next week. And I'm going to roll it all the way down to the 10.5 strike. This could end up being like selling the, and I got to walk this down to 0.08 maybe to have a chance of getting a fill. So there's a chance I could end up selling these shares at a loss, and I'm totally fine with it. I used to keep a spreadsheet and keep a detailed account of what my true cost basis was. But here's the other thing. So I'm about to get assigned probably on this $10 put. So I'll have 200 shares on Monday instead of 100. And so my $12 cost basis will get averaged down to 11, probably, right? Yeah. So my average cost will get knocked down to 11 plus whatever premiums I've gotten selling the covered calls probably makes this a wash. If I get called away at $10 a share, 10.50, it's probably not a big deal. I know that makes some people very nervous. They don't want to ever enter into a position where they have the chance of losing money. And I've had so many wins and losses at this point. I'm pretty much numb. As long as the wins outnumber the losses, I think it's fine. All right, so let me see. Do I have any buying power? $300 worth of buying power. Nothing worth doing, I don't think, with that cash. So I think that's all the trades for today. And we are all caught up on the chats. So appreciate everybody tuning in. And I'm grateful that my chat is probably because I don't have 10,000 eyeballs on it, but my chat room is virtually spotless. It's like 100% positive vibes in my chat, which I appreciate. So, if I ever get to a point where I've got 10,000 eyes on one of my videos, I hope I don't regret it. Hope the cybernats don't find me.